recently that we were able to arrive at a formula that met all our standards in terms of purity and not using any solvents, non-GMO. So it just took a couple of decades, and I'm patient. Hopefully I didn't force you to be too patient.
You never give up, Andrew. That's what we love.
No, as I've always said, if I have one quality that's important, it's persistence.
It's very persistent.
And there's a great quote, and I'm not sure if it was Calvin Coolidge, and it talks about patience and persistence. That patience and persistence above all wins out. You don't have to be brilliant, you don't have to be exceptionally talented, but if you work hard, you're patient, and you persist, then that always wins out. So
there's hope for me.
Patient and persistent. Yes, there's hope for all of us as long as we're patient and persistent.
Well, we don't have to wait much longer or have more patience to see our Ultimate Eye, because we're going to present it right now. A product that is universally adored. Andrew's been a leader in the world of supplements for over 35 years. This is a formula that has evolved, like virtually all of his have, if you are on your phone all day long. If you're on the tablet all day long, if you're starting to feel that kind of eye strain, there is a way to help support and protect our eyes, and it's with Andrew's Ultimate Eye Support. I wrote down here the glowing numbers of reviews and positive things that people say about this product, Andrew. Many folks regard this as a pretty life-changing addition to their life. I
wouldn't say pretty life-changing. Many people view this as an absolutely life-changing product that they wouldn't want to be without. And it's not that you wouldn't want to be without this product, right? But the two key ingredients in this product, lutein and zeaxanthin, we can't be without. And unfortunately, as Americans, we talked about fiber being lacking from our diet. Yeah. Even more glaring in its absence from our diet are lutein and zeaxanthin. These are the carotenoids that are present in green leafy vegetables, things like spinach, which I try to eat an abundance of, kale, even asparagus, peas, even kernel corn are great sources of lutein and zeaxanthin. But in America, we're lucky to get maybe a half a milligram a day of those ingredients. And in this product, you're talking about getting many multiples of that. You're talking about getting 10 times more than that. So lutein and zeaxanthin are ingredients that they're not something that works on your eye. They are incorporated into your eye. They actually are referred to as the macular pigments. If you looked at your retina, if you looked in someone's eye and looked at their retina would look like in the center there's a yellow spot. And that's the macula lutea. We've probably heard about the macular region of our eye. So that macular region of the retina, it's called the macula lutea, which is Latin for yellow spot. And why is it a yellow spot? It's a yellow spot because of the presence of lutein and zeaxanthin. That lutein and zeaxanthin are the optical pigments that are required for healthy vision for the eye to function. And even if I open this capsule, we also have a number of anthocyanin, that's the important pigment from berries, a number of anthocyanin containing ingredients in here. So what you're going to see is a product that looks a little purple, but if we look really closely, you see kind of yellow sparkles. I do. Those yellow sparkles are little granules, little beadlets of lutein and zeaxanthin. Wow. And so that's the lutein and zeaxanthin are the critical ingredients for eye health. So you don't want to be aging without nourishing your eyes with an abundance of lutein and zeaxanthin. So if anything is accomplished here tonight, even more than trying the product, it's just making an effort, not iceberg lettuce, but making an effort to have those dark green leafy vegetables. Collard greens, mustard greens, spinach, kale, asparagus, broccoli, peas, as I said before, beans. These are great sources of lutein and zeaxanthin. And there is just an abundance of what they call epidemiologic research that shows that folks who eat an abundance of these ingredients in their diet, as well as omega-3s, they just have a lifetime in front of them of healthier vision. And can this have a positive effect regardless of age, Andrew? At any age if we start taking this? If you read the reviews, and the reviews on this product are virtually unanimously positive. I think about 95, 96% positive reviews. But no matter what age, I mean, I started using these quite some time ago when I was younger, and I noticed an immediate difference. For me, what I noticed was better glare tolerance in bright light. I tend to, in the summer, I like to mountain bike and I like to run trails. And even with sunglasses on and things like that, if you're in altitude in the mountains, it's tough on your eyes. And I just noticed I had much better tolerance for bright light, transitioning from indoors to bright light outdoors, from bright light outdoors to then indoors, driving at night with glare when the sun is rising or the sun is setting. And that's something you read about all the time in terms of lutein and zeaxanthin, is the ability to deal better with dark light and deal better with bright light, and to deal better with the transition between them as well.
We're going to show you pricing in terms of tonight. We're doing our New Year's extra special savings. So you can choose the Try Me size of the 30 caps, 60, 180, or 360. Just to give you an idea, the two largest sizes are both on FlexPay, as you can see here. So the 180 normally is $89.90. Today is $69.90, saves you $20. And then the 360, because most folks will take one capsule per day, typically $160. Today it's under $120, saves you the $40. If you have a spare moment, or in fact a few hours, if you go online at hsn.com, you will see just an endless stream of wonderful things that people say.
And ideally, this is a 2 capsule a day product. You could take one. You could take one capsule. You could take one capsule a week, and it probably doubles the amount of lutein and zeaxanthin you're getting from the typical diet. But it's designed to be a 2 capsule a day product. It's still a phenomenal product at 1 capsule a day or 1 capsule every other day. Also, this is a product that will be later in April, so in about 3.5 months.
Okay.
This will be a Today special as well.
Okay.
So this is the last look we're going to have at this one as well.
So it really is special savings, special pricing that you can take advantage of. One of the great things about when Andrew's here is that all of his items are free shipping and handling, and of course giving you that extra special savings as well. With Ultimate Eye Support, it's about taking on and tackling the challenges that we have every single day. We expect so much of our eyes. Obviously, with those of us who are looking to increase the sharpness of our vision, this is something with those key ingredients.
And it's a long list of benefits, whether it's from the sharpness, the acuity of our vision, how we deal with, as I said before, night vision. The reviews are abundant talking about the benefits to night vision. What I also wanted to talk about is another product, just to mention briefly, astaxanthin.